7 days left for Bitcoin, or at least 7 days on average is what we would expect, given this current setup that has led Bitcoin or governed Bitcoin from the low $40,000 territory to where Bitcoin is currently right now, about $10,000 higher at $52,500. Pretty damn impressive rally. Extreme, definitely, but extreme can get even more extreme, of course. And so also I want to go over today that while the current stature of Bitcoin is getting to the extremes, what condition, if met, would imply that, well, it's time to be looking for not necessarily like a reversal into a massive downside, but certainly a long form consolidation before getting ready for the next, explosive move. Anyways, other than that, welcome back to the Krown Crypto channel. I finally got a little bit more set up here in our new place in Dubai. Unfortunately, I'm still lacking some of my screens and like my actual computer, but this is good enough for now. So at least I have internet, which is really, really nice. You don't give a fuck about that, but let's just get into the actual price action analysis. So first things first, being that it is Thursday, I always just want to start off by saying that Thursday is the most likely day to close to the downside out of all Thursdays in Bitcoin's history. 41.5% of them basically closing negatively. But funnily enough, from that, it actually does have the lowest negative return out of any weekday. Now, of course, weekends are different because they're extremely low volatility, but even for a weekday, it is the lowest negative return at 1.58. So if we do look at that as relevant, and if Bitcoin were to close down today, that would put Bitcoin, for reference, somewhere around about $51,000 even. Now, of course, it actually does look like Bitcoin probably does close yet another day positively here. And the average return on the positive side for Thursdays is actually 2.24%. By the way, I have been speaking with the developers of this indicator right here, a part of the Chart Prime package. And what we're going to now incorporate with this, we're actually going to incorporate date ranges with this, meaning that you can input date ranges onto the Krown range statistics, and it'll spit out just the statistics for those days for those date ranges. So if you really want to look at like a very specific piece of the of the market, you can do it that way. It'll be coming soon. Of course, the developers need to put into action, but yeah, I think that would be the next sort of evolution for this. And of course, you can find more information about that in the shell section below. In the description section is what it's also known. Anyways, moving on now, I do want to get into some more granular things over here. Again, what if met would be today would be indicative that this current rally is going to enter into consolidation mode and play at some sideways and downside. Not necessarily, again, I wouldn't necessarily be looking for like a major massive reversal or the biggest bull trap of all time. I think I've made my thoughts known on that like quite well over the last year and a couple months now. But in this case, the daily is still building. Major divergences, of course, on daily RSI here on CME, but it's not actionable just yet. Now it's going to be actionable at some point, but that point will be when Bitcoin confirms a local high, as assuming that Bitcoin RSI doesn't get back above like 82. You will naturally have divergence, and I suspect that that's going to be a really good indication of when this rally is ready to go into consolidation mode. So for today, based off of yesterday's price action, I would no longer use Tuesday's low as a reversal point. I'd actually just use yesterday's low as a reversal point into consolidation mode, which is actually 49,500. In fact, I would take this one step further. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive in kind of calling that, we could reference our daily statistical ranges over here and see that the daily is or has been using the 78.6 region to kind of bounce, I wouldn't say bounce off of, but just base off of it before launching to the top side of the 88.4 region right here. And that is currently coming in at 51,100. So if Bitcoin were to close below there today, okay, fair enough. We're likely looking at this, the end of this rally, if not very, very soon, or, just right there. And you should be expecting some consolidation. But until then, I know it's extreme. I know that this rally is very extreme, but it's more likely to continue than not. Extreme events beget extreme events. It's just ancient knowledge, or ancient wisdom, I should say. So as of right now, just for reference, Bitcoin is brushing up against the 88 spot 40% range highs. I'm using fib numbers for these, by the way. At least for these ones right here, obviously not 95 because that's not a fib number, but anyways, I digress. My point is that Bitcoin very rarely gets into these regions. I mean, any asset very rarely gets in those regions. That's why it is the 8840 region. For reference, the last time we saw this level even hit was back in October, where this where the macro rally really began out of the $26,000 macro base. But you can see that again, it just doesn't happen that often. So it is an outlier event, but like I said, extreme events will beget more extreme events until we get some sort of very obvious slowdown. So for me today, that would be 51,100 on a daily closing basis. If that doesn't happen, upside is still more likely. Why is upside still more likely? Because of this model over here. So this is the volatility versus stochastic momentum signature. Now that I actually have a little bit more of my materials, I can go a little bit more into the granular information on this. But first, let me explain why this is significant. The daily, or the 5-day, I should say, the 5-day volatility represented by BBWP got down towards extreme lows. That was during the late January, early February consolidation, and has been expanding from those extreme lows, which has led to an average move of, if we only look at the long signals on this one, an average move of about almost 40%. I should also say that the direction of the stochastic also has a very high correlation to the direction of volatility expansion. In fact, it has been, funnily enough, perfect for the 14 full iterations that we have seen throughout Bitcoin's history here. I actually just updated this morning, or this afternoon, I guess. And so, you know, it's not always gonna be perfect, of course, but pretty fucking good. Pretty fucking good for now. Anyways, if we only reference the long signals on this, oh, wow, I just realized you can only see like a very small portion of this. Let me adjust the chart video. Hey, can you not do that right now? Like, for fuck's sake? Like, what is my girlfriend doing? She just thinks, okay, let's turn on the water right now. Go to the bathroom like a normal person, okay? And drop a deuce in there too, you fucking dirty animal. Anyways, all right, now that we have gotten rid of... it's not funny, actually. It's not funny. It's not funny. No, it's not. Stop laughing. Cut it out. I'm just bringing this into view. You used all the forks, fuck face. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to you too, sweetheart. Anyways, yeah, whatever. Anyways, okay, there we go. All right, now that I got it. So now you can see the whole thing. Okay, so, a couple things about this. First things first, the average amount of days that we expect on these setups to reach their next major high before consolidation is 32, or 32 and change, with a standard deviation of 9.9. So putting that into perspective here, we just got another 5-day closure. And so we are officially 20 days into this one from where it basically started. And that would imply that if we're already, did I say 20 or 25? We're actually 20 days throughout this one right now. And at the end of this next period will be 25. So I was completely wrong at the beginning of this video because I'm underslept. It's not 7 days left. It's like 11 days left. Okay. Oh my God, my thumbnail editor is going to hate me because I've like been messaging him all morning being like, okay, it's 10 days. No, it's 8. No, it's 7. But I didn't realize that I desperately need sleep. Anyways, yeah, so thus far, for reference, we've also seen from that low to our current high about a 36% rally, which is very, very, very good. Compared to the average, we're pretty close to the actual average at just under 40%. But keep in mind that there is an 11%, almost 11.25% standard deviation here. So that gives us a pretty wide range between about, kind of where we're at right now on the average, and to the upper end, close to like 50 to 51%. So the thing is that if we've already seen this rally go on for 20 days, and it could theoretically, if it plays out to the average like 11 or 12 days more, then we would probably say that it's most likely going to continue more from here because it's already gotten at these prices like very quickly, very, very quickly. Compared to what we typically would see. Now I should say that the last few signals here have been more on the lower end. To be fair, 25 days, 30 days, 25 days, 30 days right here. So maybe I go with 7 days originally because that would kind of like cut it to the middle between 25 and 30 for the more recent ones. Because cycles typically do have flavors, and these are the ones that have been born since Bitcoin, basically flipped from bear to bull in end of 2022. Anyways, going back to the one over here, we'll see what title it ends up being. I don't know. Going back to the one over here, again, Bitcoin very close to 40% off of the lows, but what would 50% look like just for reference? That would be $58,000. So $58,000. I mean, that's that's a lot. That's a lot, actually. So what am I saying? Things can get more crazy. And if they do get more crazy, how would you know that they're getting more crazy today? We'd expect to see a closure above 88 spot 40, which is 52,900, basically. At that point, 95% of historic returns range highs is all the way at 55.8, and you got 97.5 at 57.2. I mean, just keeps on going and going, man. Or woman, because who the hell knows is watching this? Anyways, yeah, I think that's a good place for me to be leaving off on this one. Again, Bitcoin did just close another 5-day right here, so I thought it'd be good. It'd be prudent to update on this. I think we'll talk about something completely new tomorrow, but in this case, the 5-day momentum pivot is actually shifted down. It's shifted down from, I think it was like $44,000 before to 43,700. So that's still more supportive of upside. It's suggesting that upside is more likely here than not, especially ever since the flip of $46,000 on that momentum pivot. So the pivot continues to go lower, it looks like. So I would say that that combined with the average time analysis does suggest that, okay, this rally again has been crazy, but I wouldn't be too surprised if it gets more crazy, actually. $58,000 is like, it's not statistically irrelevant is what I'm trying to say. And so for that, I think it would be a good time to shut off this video. We're going to go with 7 days. Okay. We're going to go with 7 days, but just know 7 days is relevant to the more recent average, not the historical average of this setup. And we'll cut it off right there. As always, I completely forgot to do this, before, but if you find this content valuable, please consider liking, subscribing, and tickling your asshole. Why is that funny? Anyways, in a more sincere tone, I'd like to wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.